In 3 months from today, you will be holding real conversations in 4 different languages. I'm not talking about tourist-level sentences, ordering coffee, una cerveza por favor, none of that nonsense. I'm talking about real, in-depth conversations with native speakers, about all the things you usually talk about. In 4 languages, in only 3 months, 30 minutes per language per day. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Step by step, the complete system, nothing left out. But first, I need to explain something important, something that makes this whole thing possible. And it's not what you think. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Learning 4 languages at the same time can actually be easier than learning just one. And I know that sounds weird, but stay with me. Watch the video until the end, and you'll understand what I mean. Because when you learn one language in isolation, every single sentence is unfamiliar. Every word is new. Every structure is foreign. Your brain has nothing to grab onto. But when you learn Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese together, you start seeing the same patterns everywhere. Your brain is not learning 4 separate languages. It's learning one system with 4 different variations. And that's an enormous difference. And that's the foundation everything else is built on. But before I give you the whole system, let me explain you quickly why everything you've tried before hasn't worked. Because if you've ever tried to learn a language and given up after a few months, it wasn't your fault. They just gave you the wrong method. Traditional language learning does 3 main things wrong. Number 1 is that it starts with grammar. Big mistake. Pages and pages of rules, conjugation tables, exceptions to exceptions. Your brain did not evolve to learn grammar from a textbook. It evolved to learn language from context, from sentences that mean something to you. Mistake number 2 that most language courses and apps make is that they teach you things that you'll never say. The cat is on the table, the elephant eats the banana, my aunt's umbrella is blue, the girl likes the bird's banana. When are you going to say that? When have you said that in your own language? Your brain doesn't prioritize useless information, so it forgets it. And finally, problem number 3 is that it's mostly passive. You watch videos, you read, you do grammar exercises, you push buttons on an app, but you never really speak. And speaking the language is the only thing that makes you fluent. And everything you're about to learn in this video is designed to fix all 3 of those problems at once. This method is called language islands. And once you understand it, you will never look at language learning the same way. Here's the idea. Instead of learning a language from a textbook or from videos, you build your own language learning materials from your own life. You write down the things you actually talk about, the things you do every day, like your job, your family, your plans for the weekend, things like that. And instead of random sentences and textbooks, you learn your own sentences. These are your language islands, clusters of real, useful, personal sentences, things you actually want to say in real life. And now you translate them into Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. And here's where the magic happens. Because you're not just learning for translations of a sentence. You're training your brain to instantly associate the same thought with 4 different sets of sounds. And because these sentences are about your life, your brain treats them as important information. It doesn't throw them away. It doesn't forget them. It keeps them. So how do you actually do this? Let me walk you through the exact process. Step 1 is, of course, writing your sentences. You open a document and you write 20 or 30 sentences about your life or for a specific context in your native language. Don't overthink it. Just write things you say or think about every day. Pick a topic for each island, like work, family, health, travel, food, hobbies, plans, and you write 20 or 30 sentences about it. Step 2 is translating those sentences into all 4 languages. You can use any kind of translation tool. They're all pretty good these days. Step 3, create audio files. This is a non-negotiable. Really important. Text alone is not enough. You need to hear the language. You need the sound to go into your ears every single day. And the best way to do it is using text-to-speech tools. So you create an audio file for that group of 20 or 30 sentences for a specific topic. Target language only. You don't need audio in your native language. They are your own sentences and you already know what you were trying to say. You'll save a lot of time by just listening to the target language. And those audio files are your most important tool. They go everywhere with you. They should be on your phone and you should listen to them all day, every day. Now, let me give you the exact daily routine. 2 hours a day in total. 30 minutes a day per language. 4 languages. Here's what those 30 minutes look like per language. First 10 minutes, listen and repeat sentences. Play the audio file with the text in front of you, so you can read the translation if you don't understand, and repeat after every sentence when you hear them. Same words, same rhythm, same intonation, pronunciation. You don't just hear it and understand it. You say it every time, out loud. After 10 minutes of that, you do 10 minutes of translations. You cover the target language and you read the sentences in your native language and you try to say them in the target language without looking. And then you check where you're right, where you're wrong, where you're close. You'll probably make lots of mistakes in the beginning. This is where the real learning happens. In this very moment of trying, failing, and correcting yourself. And the final 10 minutes should be free speaking. No script, no audio, just you talking out loud in the language about anything. Now, this sounds extremely difficult, and it is at first, but if you've been repeating your personalized sentences aloud and translating into them with feedback for 20 minutes, you will already have some sentences you can use when talking freestyle. It's going to be very hard at first, but the second day it's going to be less hard because you know more sentences, and the third day it'll be easier, and after a month it'll be pretty easy. And that's it. 30 minutes per language, 4 times in total, every day. That's the system. And I know what you're thinking right now, but they're all similar languages. Won't I mix them all up? Am I not going to confuse Spanish and Italian in my head? And yeah, it's a fair question. And the honest answer is yes, you will confuse them at first. You will mix them up. But here's why that's not a problem. In fact, it's actually an advantage. Because every time you mix up Spanish and Portuguese, and then you correct yourself because you're doing the translation exercise, your brain remembers the difference between the languages. You make a lot of errors in the beginning, but that's good. The errors are the learning. Lots of mistakes, lots of feedback, lots of comparing the languages against each other, and this way you learn the differences easily. When you study one language in isolation, you never encounter those boundaries. You don't compare languages against each other. But when you study them together, you learn the differences way faster and much more permanently than any grammar book or any app. This translation drill is designed exactly for this. It forces you to switch between languages deliberately. And with enough repetition, the boundaries become automatic. You learn to use the languages without confusing them. So this is what you should expect month by month. In month 1, everything feels hard. Everything feels slow. And this is normal. It's a necessary phase of learning. Your brain is building the infrastructure, the foundations. Don't judge the process by how it feels after a week or two. Because it's in month 3 that things start really clicking. The sentences you've been drilling for weeks, they start coming out automatically, without thinking. And that feeling right there, that's where fluency happens. And at the end of the 3 months, in each language, you'll have thousands of sentences that you've learned, memorized, rehearsed, made lots of mistakes with and got corrected, and now you can use in conversation, confidently, because you've made all the mistakes already. So you'll be able to speak conversationally fluently in all 4 languages. It's as simple as that. 1,000 sentences. That's all you need. 1,000 real, useful, personalized sentences per language. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. This system works, and I've used it myself many times, and I've seen it work for thousands of people, but it only works if you actually do the work. There's only one thing that is stopping you from getting results, and it's not talent for languages, it's not age, it's not intelligence, it's not any of that. It's inconsistency. Doing 2 hours one day and then doing nothing for a week is much worse than doing 30 minutes a day every day. Your brain learns through repetition over time, not through marathon sessions or motivation bursts, through showing up every day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. That's how you improve at languages and everything else. So the days you don't feel like it, do it anyway. Those are the most important days. 20 minutes per language if that's all you have. But do it. And keep listening to the languages while you do other things in the background. Because if you do this consistently, 3 months from now, you'll be having good conversations in all 4 languages. So the question is, what are you going to do now? Finish this video and think that it was interesting and move on and do nothing? Or you're going to write down everything I said and start applying it today? The system is right here in front of you. The only missing piece is a decision and daily consistent action. If you want to take action, watch this step-by-step tutorial. There you have all my techniques, explained step by step to learn languages faster.